Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a church. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling friends. That's about you. Josh Wolf, comedian, back on the show. He brought his son, Jacob Wolf, with him. They got a podcast, and they also shoot those really funny videos. They got a YouTube show called Family Tussle, and then the podcast called Hey Man, a Family Pod with Josh and Jacob Wolf. It's good that you guys can have a nice relationship as father-son.
I have to tell you, this is my favorite, I guess, chapter of my career. Mm-hmm. This part with him, and because, you know, I toured a lot when he was in high school and late middle school, so I miss a lot. And I feel like this is like just excellent bonus time. And he's a great, I also, when we travel together, he does all my shows, you know, it's a two-man show. I also love torturing him. Like, I won't let him get his own hotel room. So he has, we named the tour One Room, Two Beds.
It's funny.
Yeah. And so but it's a great time. It's been just such a good time traveling around with him.
Yeah, it's interesting that people feel like they want to be friends with their kids now, because when I was young, no adult wanted to be friends unless they were pedophiles.
That's right.
But if they weren't trying to get in your pants or your underoos, they did not want to be friends with anybody. I mean, you couldn't go to two adults at your own home who are like talking at a party or something and like walk up to them and say something. They just like look at you and go, the fuck are you talking to us
Why
for?
are you speaking to us?
Go into some other place.
But I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they try to be friends with their kids too young.
Yes.
Right. And at some point in time, it's okay to be friends with your kids because they're adults. But when they're kids, they need parents. They have friends at school.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely growing up seeing it. Like, some parents definitely tried to be friends before they were parents. Like, they had their roles reversed and switched up just because they wanted to seem cool to their kids and their kids' friends. But I think parent first and friend second is what set how strong our relationship is, for sure.
I remember talking to my dad about it. My dad's an old school dad, right? And we were talking about parenting, and I was like, I think I'm going to be a little less, than you were. And he goes, hey. I go, yeah. He goes, you never want your kid calling you by your first name. And I was like, that's a good point. He goes, don't get too close. Because I don't want, if he at some point in time when we were growing up, I had said something and he'd been like, fuck you, Josh. I'd have been like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a little too much. I think there's time.
I grew up in one of those. My mom called her mom Helen. That wasn't even her name. No. she never, which made it really fucked up.
Talk about disrespectful, Judy. That's not my name.
Grandma Trudy was, she called her fucking mom Helen constantly. And then when you get older, stuff creeps in. And at some point, like I said to my grandma, I was like, uncomfortable, like a kind of weird, like, especially if you're around other people.
Yeah.
And she just went, no, why? And I was like, oh, that's why you're a super shitty mom.
That's
you
right.
don't even think it's weird.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. To hear, like, it was always weird to me too, because this generation is different. Did you grow up calling your parents, your friends' parents, Mr. and Mrs., whatever? Or did you call them by their first name?
Well, I had a sort of combination of being super scared of all of my friends' parents, but also being raised kind of feral, childy, like eating with my hands and talking while I'm eating with my mouth open and like food flying out and stuff. I didn't know any manners or how to do anything, so I was scared of them, but I probably didn't call them Mr. and Mrs. because that would have been something that someone would have had to impart to me or something, and no one imparted anything. But I think a lot of time I would call them, like, there was a lot of this. Like, I didn't even know the dude's name. I'd just call him Max's dad. Like, so my friend was saying Max, I'd go, hey, Max's dad, can I have some Triscuits? And he'd go, no. And I'd go, okay, sorry. And that would be about it.
Yeah, Max's dad, that also tracks. It's a different generation of, I had a friend down the street whose dad called me the little Jew kid. He was like, He was like, and he wasn't wrong. I was the little Jew kid, and I don't think he meant it as an insult.
Right.
I
He's
just
trying
think,
to identify it.
Yeah, he was like, is a little Jew kid here? I love that guy.
Yeah, well, what
me.
ends up happening, it always takes a turn because, you know, you go, your kids have a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And then there's turnover as they move and shift and go to different schools and they move to Denver for whatever. So you can't remember everyone's fucking name. So at some point, you're like, you know, like your kid, who's the kid with the fro with the fucked up nationality? Like, what is that kid's name with the beak?
The Jew kid. Yeah. I will tell you, did you ever have some of your kids' friends who you didn't like?
Oh, yeah.
There was one of your friends.
Wait, I'm trying to think of who it may have been.
One of your friends said when your mom walked in, he said to her, "Those jeans are a little tight, don't you think?" And I was like, "Oh, you should probably go home." Don't know if you're gonna be invited back ever again. Those jeans are a little.
I was partially in that camp, but my friends were the friends that you didn't want around your kids, and I was that guy. I was in the 9th grade when they did the parent-teacher conference. One of my friends, the entire conference was about me, even though I wasn't in the room. It was like, this kid is hanging around too much. Your kid is hanging around too much with the Carolla kid, and he's got potential, but not that much potential where he can overcome this dark cloud of Carolla. So that was a sobering conversation. Like, you can't. The vice principal said you were bringing down my GPA a few points, and
the Carolla effect.
Yeah, I had my buddy Ray, who would say anything to anybody at all times. Like, speaking of your wife, I was over at a friend's house. Liz was her name. I'll spare the last name. But the dad was like good looking and kind of slender and sort of may have been gay, you know? And then the wife was like kind of short and stocky and whatever. And we were like in high school and we could never really figure out like, how does this work in this relationship? And he was like the life of the party and she was kind of angry. And I think her name was Shirley. And at some point, my buddy Ray was like talking about somebody like, some chick I didn't want to date. And then he looked at Shirley and he went, "You think you're ugly? You should have seen this one." I was like, oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
Oh, it was brutal. We're all eating.
Oh my! I'll tell you something that I never thought of this until recently. What it must have been like for him. So I will tell you, my wife she's a smoke show. She's a beautiful woman.
She could lose a few, but she's attractive in the face. She's a really cute face.
Those jeans are pretty tight, I heard.
So I found out recently your friends talked about wanting to have sex.
No, okay, so not, the ones who came up to me in middle school, high school, all that, and said they wanted to have sex with my mom, I wouldn't call my friends.
Right.
What my friends would say it, but not directly say it. They would be like we were drinking in my room one day, and we're sitting there, and somehow the conversation comes up, and one of my friends just kind of goes silent. He does that thing where he awkwardly, takes a sip, and I look at him and I go, "Say it." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Say it. I know what you want to say. Say it. Like, get it off your chest. I think everybody will feel a lot better now." He goes, "No, I can't say it." I go, "Say it." And I'm like shaking him, and he just screams, "Your mom is hot as fuck." And then everybody laughs, and then it all kind of goes away. But
Chubby chaser.
Yeah. God, I hope she doesn't hear
Black
this.
kid?
Yeah.
No, Filipino, actually.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but I can't imagine being in high school and having my friends.
That's the ultimate tip of the cap
Yeah.
as the dad.
Right?
It's a tip of the cap.
Good for you.
Yeah. I didn't mind.
You indirectly, like, not played a joke on me, but you had something that lined up to where it played in your favor.
It made me really happy anytime that you were super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that I caught one of his friends checking out my wife's ass. Like, she walked by and I saw him go. And then he looked at me and I was just like
staring at him.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing, bro? I But I think the difference now, do your kids' friends think you're cool?
What is happening, and so just to circle back to the initial conversation, yeah, when your kids are too young, they're not your fucking friends, and you can't talk to them about any shit that's interesting to you, and it doesn't matter what you did, they don't really give a fuck. So, and then to take it further, when the blowhard celebrity chick starts talking about looking into the eyes of her 3-year-old and finding strength and never seeing someone so courageous and learning how to love, like when they do the fucking Oscar speech and they're up there blowing hard about, they got a fucking 6-month-old kid and they're talking about looking in their eyes and seeing courage and shit. It's like, look in their diaper and tell me what you think.
That's gas.
Jessica Chastain, shut the fuck up. And no one ever, but no one under 10 has ever taught me shit about anything except for if it was a fucking... What the fuck is Pokemon?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right, that's right.
Pokemon is. Other than that, I haven't learning so much from your 4-year-old. Shut up, retarded actor and actress.
I agree. I also love hearing. I do love hearing about how when I see these, and it doesn't have to be anyone in Hollywood, just incredibly wealthy people.
Yes,
talking about how difficult it is to raise a child, and I'm like, how much help do you have? I had 3 kids in one room by myself, making $1,000 a month. That's raising kids. When you have somebody who cleans up around the house for you, or do you know what I mean?
But listen, I just said, people go, oh, you got twins, but I go, you just throw money at the problem.
Yeah.
You get a fucking night nurse, you get a nanny, you get 7,300 square foot.
Yeah.
Your bedroom's over on the other side of the fucking shit where you can't hear anything. If you get square footage and some help, it's a zero burger.
Tell me about you eating, and the food that you ate is the leftovers on your kid's plate as you're washing the dishes.
Right.
That, to me, it's very relatable.
Yeah, tell me how hard it is raising a kid when you hire all that help and you're practically not even the one raising the fucking kid. Like
that was me.
This doesn't even make any sense.
Well,
you did it.
Yeah. All right. So, they're not your friend or your buddy before, and then at some point, I got twins. They turned 17 recently, and they start coming online. And they get your jokes, and their friends, I was talking to my daughter today, and she's like, oh, I was in Cabo. She was in Cabo, and I gave her name at a restaurant that she'd made a reservation at, and the other girl group, heard Carolla. Oh, I know. Oh, is your dad? I think my dad likes your dad or something, watches him on TV. And they're like, then once they start to figure out that you have a name or that people recognize it or that so-and-so's dad thinks you're funny or something like that, then you start to get a little traction with them, a little currency.
So there was a joke about him he used to hate me telling. It was a story about him accidentally putting his dick pics on the cloud and they ended up on my iPad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a real story?
Real story.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
I was scrolling through I'm scrolling. I'm in bed with my wife. I'm scrolling through, looking at pictures from the weekend, seeing what I want to post and stuff. And I just stopped on a picture, and I was like, "That's not my dick." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh." And at first, I thought somebody was sending dick pics to my wife, and I was like, "Oh, my dick beats that one," so I don't really care.
Right.
Yeah,
right. But then I noticed the IKEA desk behind the dick, and I was like, "I built that desk and that dick." Like
really?
I recognize that room. That is from down the hallway, right?
Wow.
So. But I will tell you, he hated it until tell him what changed the tide for you.
We're Boston sports fans, okay? And for me, my idol and the dude I grew up watching a lot was David Ortiz. And I have gotten the pleasure to be able to meet David Ortiz and meet his family and spend time with them. And he told me the first time I met him that was his favorite joke.
Wow.
And right then and there, literally before we got in the car to go grab dinner, I turned around and I go, you can tell whatever joke you want now. That is the craziest boost of confidence for some reason. Because here's the thing. We talked about it. We laughed about it. And in the moment, I didn't really like it. But then 5 minutes later, we were talking like regular people. And he was asking me questions about who I am or what I like to do. And I go, somebody I idolize said they loved the joke, super funny. but dropped it right there and just decided to talk to me like I was a regular person right after that. And it just, for some reason, it flipped a switch in my brain to where it was just, there was no more embarrassment about anything, ever.
Was David Ortiz the one who was shot in the Dominican
Yes.
Republic?
Correct.
Yeah, that was a weird one, right?
Yeah.
But it was pre getting shot or post getting
Pre.
shot? Because he was in a better mood. He's not been the same jovial.
Couple years prior to that.
Okay, that
pre-balloon.
explains why he's in such a good mood. Do we have Jessica Chastain at the Oscars? I have a vague memory of her like looking into her fucking. So kids are worthless from 0 to whatever. By the way, a lot of them go sail right through life and remain worthless. I went to high school with a lot of guys that still don't get a joke.
Also, 0 to 4 months, they're nothing burgers.
Nothing.
They shit, they sleep, they eat. That's it.
That's it.
So you're definitely not looking to their eyes. And
and there's no bond.
No, but those are the same kind of people, though, that, like, you know, after 12 months, after your baby hits a year, your baby's a little over a year or just under a year and a half. Your baby is not 16 months.
Yeah, I'm with that,
like,
too.
or if you're going to do it, if you get to 24 months, if you go anything past that, like, stop. Like,
you can't
once
be-
you hit a year, you're good. There's no more months.
I got some rules even pre-birth. Like, I don't like when baby go, how far along? Well, I'm 27 months. I'm always like, I don't know what that. You gotta.
when you
gotta just go 3 months in or 5 months in or something. You go 20.
You can't do that.
weeks, like
27 weeks.
I'm doing
yeah, so-
math now.
Yeah.
Anything over 12 months, I'm with you because then I have to start doing math. But
Yeah.
when somebody's like, they're 72 months old, I'm like, that makes no sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
27. Did I say months or weeks? Sorry.
Months. I was like, that's gonna be a
weeks.
big
people
baby.
do both.
27
Yeah.
weeks.
It's
Sorry.
gonna be a big
yeah,
baby.
By the way,
the
also-
kid is 27. You're 27 weeks pregnant, and the kid is 27 months old later on, and I just don't fucking
Yeah.
round up or round down.
Yeah, just
Or
hit
just give the year. Like, shit. Yeah. It's pointless.
Are you like? Are you at an age now? Because I always forget. Are you at an age now where you are thinking like, I want to have kids by this age?
Oh, I've had that age in my head for a long time.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you now?
26.
Oh, okay.
I would like to have kids around 29 or 30. Because I like when my kids hit a certain age, I still want to be able to, you know, run around and be active and be, you know, like, you know, part of their life. So
Yeah.
if I feel like I go any older than that, by the time they hit 10, I'm almost.
I mean,
50.
I'm already
You're
a
not
grandfather.
going Al Pacino here.
No. That. You know,
Wow.
how is he not shooting blanks? What the fuck?
I don't know. But I'll tell you what ends up happening. I'm an older dad for sure, and they do this thing all the time where you go like, well, you want to have your kids young so you can be active and play, be there, be physical, with them. What they don't tell you is your kid's going to be a lazy sack of shit who wants to sit in a fucking room and play video games all day, and you'll be standing in the yard with a frisbee going, come on, and they're going, no, I'm good.
Maybe the problem
I'm
was
good.
we had a frisbee.
Oh
Yeah. That's a good point. Also,
So I'm already a grandfather.
Wow.
My oldest son has 4 kids. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, like, I'm on board for the energy part of it. Because I look at my brother who had a kid at 50. I'm like, how do you do? If there was somebody in diapers at my house right now, I would fucking murder myself.
Well, it's like I said, if you got 7,500 square feet
That's
and
true.
a night nanny and a night nurse and a day nanny and all that, if you just throwing money at the problem, that it's fine.
Yeah.
Do you think Pacino and De Niro are fucking with no rubber because they're like, there's no way I can get anyone pregnant? Do you? Because I know even like my age, that's what it sounds like when I orgasm.
Wow.
coming
It's
out.
just like a dusty kind
Yeah.
of. Like that kind of like I could blow out a candle,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I could put out a fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so, do you think just at a certain age you just think this is no way,
Yeah, I think
Totally.
that's what they must be thinking.
right? And if that baby comes out, do they have that old person? Do they come out with that
like
old
Benjamin
face?
Button? Like, do they come out like Benjamin Button?
Hilarious.
Progeria
Yeah.
is what we're looking for.
If they come out with a little wrinkled Pacino face, that would be hoo-ah.
I think once you get into a certain tax bracket, And once you get to a certain age, you're kind of like, well, fuck it. If I have a kid, I have a kid.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be around another 7 years anyway. Number one. And number two, I got enough FU money to make sure this kid's fine. And I think it's a combination of I'm old. There's no way my balls are this fertile. And then another part is like, so what?
Yeah, not my problem.
But what? Okay,
Not
what
my problem
if-
for long, at least. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
That's what I meant.
What if you're the woman's father? So she's 29, I think.
Yeah, she is.
But what if you're the woman's father who's, 50, who
Right.
grew up watching Pacino?
Right.
It probably idolized him in some way. Are you
Yeah.
psyched? Are you like, oh, I don't want you fucking an 80-year-old, but
Oh, yeah.
it's Pacino.
You have a Pacino grandson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I don't know. I feel.
I
Like
think
that's-
I'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
in between on that one.
Yeah. No, and you'd be like, yeah, you grew up, you're watching Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
And Sense of a Woman. And
Scarface.
Scarface. And and also, you're not going to do this stupid hyphenated name. You want to get rid of your last name and
Straight
get Pacino's name.
Straight Pacino.
Straight
Absolutely.
Pacino, right?
Absolutely.
You have to take the Pacino and De Niro. You're golden.
Yeah.
Both of them. I think both of their parents. If it's any other old dude, they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But you're like, you're fucking Pacino.
Did we
Yeah, if you
figured
think
out
Carolla
the
gets you
name?
juice and Cabo.
I think
Yeah,
I got a
yeah,
better name.
yeah.
I think the kid, if it's a boy, has got to be named Dino.
Dino Pacino.
Gino. Or
Yeah,
Dino.
you went Gino,
I went
but
Gino.
I like Dino. I'm
Dino
going with
Pacino.
Dino
A
Pacino
little
now.
harder.
Dino Pacino. I mean, that's a fucking winner.
Yeah.
Dino Pacino is a winner.
Yeah.
Dino Pacino is popular in school.
Oh, yeah.
Dino Pacino.
Plus, your initials are DP.
Always a win.
Yeah,
Always a win.
Always,
Too.
always a win.
Let me tell you how juvenile I am. Whenever anybody tells me, "Are you going to the ATM?" I'm like, I know what you mean, but
Oh, you think I'm talking about director of photography?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I Dino Pacino is
That's
hard to
strong.
beat. But what if it's a girl?
We were settling with like Gina or something, but it's not as good. It needs an O. It needs an O.
Yeah, Dino Pacino. I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
What about? Did you find one for De Niro?
Yeah. Well, Dino De Niro would work
Dino,
pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Dino.
Gino De Niro would work pretty good.
I hope that the two of those babies end up hanging out somehow.
Yeah.
They'll have to.
I really hope there's some sort of play date with the two old Pacino. Like,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
get a Heat prequel.
oh
Oh, yeah.
my God, that would be amazing. Or if you just filmed some sort of play date with the two old dudes and their kids,
Yeah.
that would be fascinating.
I
to watch.
think all celebrity siblings should be forced to at least mate, if not to marry, And I think right now Bon Jovi's son
Yes.
is married to
the woman for the girl from Stranger Things,
Oh yeah, like that
Billy, Millie.
Millie.
Millie Bobby Brown. They're not.
Yeah. They're married.
They're married.
Married?
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
I agree.
I don't
Some
want
super
the
kids.
pedestrians getting in
Yeah,
there, the
dude.
sort of civilians mixing with the elites. You know
That's
what
right.
I mean?
That's right.
Need a
Yeah.
pure blood.
The common folk.
Yeah.
You don't date in the general population.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
you
that's
gotta
right.
date in your stratosphere. I feel like that dude, that John Bon Jovi, was probably like, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure his son brought some people home where he was like, this is typical New Jersey. We're not dating New Jersey.
Yeah. I talk a pretty good New Jersey story, but I want nothing to do with these fucking people. I know it's all New Jersey talk out of me. I fly private. I don't fucking hang out with these fucking idiots.
I'm not Springsteen, okay?
Right,
I'm
let
fucking
him-
Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I always wondered about that. Like, do you think they try to push their kid into marrying, like, Richie Sambora has a daughter.
Right. Yeah.
You're like a musical kid. Stevie Nicks has a girl that maybe they try to match voice. Because if I was an athlete, that's what I would do. I would find somebody athletic to have a baby
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
To have like a super
Ooh.
kid.
Oh, man. It was a huge waste of genetic talent. I think Serena Williams or was it? Let's see.
No, Serena married that
Billionaire.
Yeah,
but he's
not
like
an
a
athlete.
scrawny
Yeah,
Jewish
that's not-
kid. Sorry, like
She's
but your friend's
always
dad, but
dated
it's like,
white Jews.
I know, but her fucking genetic pool
I
is
know.
so powerful
Next level.
that if we could have got her with like Christian Okoye,
Oh my! What a reference! That
you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
mean, what would
yeah,
those quads look like? You know what I mean? But now she gets herself the spindly Jewish guy, and what do we got?
She fucked it.
We got nothing.
Brings her down.
But that's why, this guy. This is not.
No.
This is not pushing the master group that we want. We want
No.
the true athlete.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren would work.
Oh, like her and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
Barkley's quads are
Saquon.
crazy.
Yeah, Saquon, the quad, Barkley.
Quadzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
Earl Campbell. I don't know if he can get out of the wheelchair,
No,
but
probably.
we'll milk him.
Yeah.
We'll get that seed. Don't you worry. I know guys who work with the horses.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
Those are
When you're not
fucked.
staring at your son's cock, you're looking at horse jack off videos.
Yo, can I tell you something? His search history on a daily basis is one of the strangest things.
Horse jack off.
We were at the dinner table. I was 14, okay, and we started talking about something, and it's me and my mom, him, a friend of mine, and my sister. And I ask him, I go, hey, I want to look something up. My phone's in my room. Can I see your phone?
Oh, dear God.
And I go to type in the search bar, and the first thing that pops up is poop in pool. And I was like, why is that in your search bar? And he goes, well, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of, poop. And I was like, that sounds, what does that even mean? He goes, well, at first the first search below that was, does poop float?
Oh, well,
And then-
the
and then-
website is called Rabbit's Hole. Yeah. So he was technically correct.
And then the one below that was, what type of person poops in a pool? And I asked him this.
It's getting scientific here.
What do you mean, what kind of person?
I wanted to know if there was like statistically somebody that was pooping in the pool
and then-
more often than somebody
Yeah.
else.
Nah,
Turns out there is.
And then the
going
one
on.
before that, the very first one was, how often do people poop in pool?
Yeah, it was
So
kind
he
of a-
started at that and then just ended up at poop in pool.
Wow.
5 minutes later, all five of us are huddled around me at the dinner table. All the plates have gone cold, and all five of us are watching compilations of people shitting in the pool.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It was-
That's what happened at the Wolf
Hey,
House.
listen, feed off
Crazy.
to whatever you want. Your son's cock, horse being jacked off,
Yeah.
Hungarian shitting in
Yeah.
pools,
Yeah, it was-
whatever.
It was
so
Hungarian.
crazy.
I like that.
I'm not judging.
Are you assuming it was Hungarian?
I
Eastern
took
European.
I think I took a poop in my Hungarian grandfather's pool once, so maybe I was like connecting it.
Have you accidentally or for real?
No, I think I did it. I was probably like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah.
I just did
That's
it.
on purpose.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
You-
totally controllable.
You shit in the bathtub. You thought it was super funny, and I was like,
I had a friend who used to like to, when we'd go into the ocean,
yeah.
and just be like body surfing and sort of waiting. He liked to drop a deuce in the ocean.
In the wave while you were body surfing?
He
Or just
wasn't
while
that
he was-
good. Nobody's that good.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, yo, that's impressive as fuck.
Only when we were in the tube, when we were in the yeah. He would drop it. It would float up. He'd grab it and throw it at your head.
This I respect.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah.
respect that. Yo, if you are in the water and you throw a shit at me, I am drowning you.
Well,
like there's no way that you're gonna get away with throwing your legit dookie at me without getting the shit beaten out of you. Like,
Well, a lot of it was based on him being able to drown you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys who do that-
scrawny guys
Yeah.
don't throw shit at their friends.
I will tell
in the
you.
ocean.
I'm impressed by this for 2 reasons. One, who can shit in the ocean and have it be solid enough where you could pick it up and throw it? He needs some better hydration. But 2, the instinct, because I would have never even think that. I would have been like, oh, that's funny. I shit in the ocean. To think I'm gonna throw that at my friend is like a next level person.
Well, I'll tell you what. We need to take a break. When we come back, I will regale you with some shit throwing stories on campus in high school during school hours.
Would love it.
oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I'll do that right after this. Let me tell you about Turo. Innovative. It's the world's largest car sharing marketplace with Turo. You can book any car you want, wherever you want, from a community of local hosts. Browse a huge selection of vehicles for just about any occasion or budget. Book an SUV or a minivan for a family road trip, a pickup truck for some errands, or even test drive an EV. Every trip is backed by liability insurance. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Find your drive. Forget your boring rental cars at Turo, Turo.com. Let me tell you about Angie Homeowners. You know, it's a lot of work to own a home. Whether it's everyday maintenance, repairs, or dream projects, it can be hard to even know where to start. All you need is Angie. Your home for everything home. Find a skilled local pro who will deliver quality and experience. Over 20 years of home service experience. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie handles the rest. Look, you're busy. You don't have time to do all this stuff. Let Angie handle it. Take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit online. Visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. ANGI.com. That's Angie. Let them do all the heavy lifting. Josh Wolf, comedian. Jacob Wolf, son and comedian in studio. Talking about shit stories. I mean, there's obviously the famous one of me having it slammed in my ear in high school from my buddies. Same guy.
Same dude?
Not surprising.
Same group. Same group.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
But there's also, like, the best one was one of my friends. We just walk around during school hours. Like, we'd slide out of class and just fuck around, walk around through the halls of North Hollywood High. And one of my buddies said, like, I'm going into the men's room taking a dump, you know? And then I said, yeah, okay, I'm waiting out here, because you couldn't trust these guys at all. And then my other buddy said, oh, if he's going to go in there and take a dump, I'm going to go in there and piss on him. I said, okay, go do it. But I've been burned too many times by going in and going, yeah, I'm going to watch. And next thing you know, I'm in the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been pulled out of the stands and I'm in the middle of the fucking field on punt return. Like, I'm like, I came in here to laugh at you two animals. Then you guys turn on me, which is what always happens.
Yeah.
There's no code with these guys. And so, but I do want to kind of hear what's going on in there, because I think it's going to be funny. So I I push the door open. I'm just standing, 1 foot in the hall and 1 foot in the bathroom, and I'm listening. And one of my buddies on the toilet taking a crap, and the schools, they didn't have doors in there. And so one buddy's on the toilet, and I hear my other buddy come in. And when you heard the word, there was a phrase. If you heard the word freeze, baby. If you heard freeze.
It's your safety word?
No, that meant you're going to get doused with piss. Yeah. And so.
It's your attack cry.
I heard.
Yeah. It's a battle cry, exactly.
It's a battle cry. So I heard freeze, baby. And I was like, and the guy on the toilet was like, come on, man. Like, come on, Marcus of Queensberry, right?
Yeah,
I'm sitting down. I'm at a lower, you're at an elevated place.
Over the...
There was some of that.
Yeah.
That came later. But he was just standing in front of him, and he could do this thing called brewing, where he kind of pinched it off at the end and shot it. And he could shoot urine like 20 feet and onto ceilings and stuff like that. And really onto... And high school bathroom height ceilings, like 12-foot ceilings, boom.
Can't be
hit the ceiling.
That is amazing.
Pow.
Now that's impressive.
So, and it came out with a lot of velocity. It was like a hose shot. And so one buddy's on the toilet, and he's begging him, like, don't do it. Come on, don't do it. He's totally vulnerable.
Nowhere to go.
And he knows what this guy can do with this cock of his and the velocity and the brewing, right? I mean, he can hit ceilings. He could probably, if he was at a carnival, he could
won a prize.
He could knock the cups over.
Bing.
Yeah, he could take them down. So he's begging for his life, and the guy, he gets just going, freeze, baby. And at a certain point, The guy in the toilet just starts screaming, my eyes are burning.
Oh.
So he just get full kill shot right in the face, right hard in the face. And so he's screaming, oh, my eyes are stinging. And the guy yells freeze, baby. He's multiple. He's going like Manson family on him. Like not one stab, but like 37 times.
So he was repeatedly shooting him.
He's blasting him on the toilet. Then I hear the guys doing all the damage. Go, oh, come on. No, put that down. Because the guy in the toilet reached
in and grabbed it.
reached in. And now the guy's pissing all over him. It's like, whoa, I thought we had rules here.
Yeah.
And he's like, put it down. And the guy, and then I heard,
This is amazing.
This is crazy.
How close were you to walking in to just take a look?
you could never go into that. It was essentially like two pit bulls fighting. You're going to break it up. You're going to get bit. That's all that was going to happen, because it had happened to me a few times that we thought, let's go tag team one of our friends in there, and then at a certain point the friend talks the other guy into tag teaming me, and then they both are looking at you. So I'd been burned, so I was just hanging out listening, and so then the guy who was doing all this pissing started screaming, put that down. This is unfair. Like, come on.
Oh my.
What about the rules?
Yeah.
And then I just heard a slip and a splat, and a guy hit the floor hard because the guy who was pissing on him was like kind of standing in a puddle of his own piss and tried to take off so fast on the tile floor. They just ate shit, and then the guy
literally
threw shit
at him. Yeah.
Can I tell you a couple things?
Yeah.
One, we would have been friends in high school.
Yeah.
We would have, and I will say,
We wouldn't have.
No, I think it's such a generational thing, because when I hear stories like this, I think that sounds weird. That sounds like a bunch of good friends who had a good time together.
Yeah. People would always go like, "What did you do?"
But it's such a different time. If you did that now, dude, if you did that now, like there's such a line of what you're allowed to have fun doing. But the way we had fun is we fucked with each other. Non-stop fucked with each other in ways that you couldn't get away with.
Or no possible way.
But some of my best memories growing up are things like that, because they're great stories. I will tell you something else. When you said stall with no door, people wonder why guys our age, they're like, you guys are animals. We were raised like animals.
Yes.
Our bathrooms, the stalls had, you remember the showers in your high school?
Yeah.
It was a prison.
Yes.
It was a couple shower heads, no doors, no stalls, and they expected the high school guys and
mine wasn't even a prison. It was a concentration camp.
Yeah.
You go in there to be executed.
Yeah, dude, it was like, and there was no privacy. Like, you got no stalls, no doors on stalls. You took a shit, and people, when people used to our friends would they'd go and take a shit. There's no door, right? So we would just
stand. Have doors on any of the stalls?
We would stand in front of them and just throw things at them as they were taking. Like, it was target practice. They were like, "Stop!" Whatever we wanted to throw at them, we would just sit and throw things at them.
Oh man,
as they
had to.
What are they going to do?
Oh, my buddy.
So strange.
I went to the shower after football practice, and my buddy picked up a bar of Irish Spring soap, and he had a fucking rocket arm.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm fucking throwing this as hard as I can at you guys. And everyone's just naked. We all just piled into a corner and tried to use other bodies
as a shield.
Like, I was holding the guy's sack up over my head. He had this fucking bar of soap, and he's like over his head, and we're all like, fuck. Yeah. It's going to kill us. He wasn't a half speed guy. He's a full
Why would you go half speed
guy.
at your friends?
No.
You didn't do that.
Yeah, he also busted a bottle of shampoo open, and the lid was all jagged because he busted it or something. He was stabbing us all in the ass.
See, where'd
you guys go to school? The fucking jungle? Jesus.
Your generation, and this is, I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's completely different.
Oh my God. I mean, this guy, when he threw a knife at me and it stuck in my knee. Nothing was grounds for dismissal back then.
Yeah.
When we were babysitting,
Wait, what type of knife are we talking about?
it was like a pocket knife, but it stuck into my knee. I remember it didn't come out. Like you threw it at me. It stuck. You also, that was in my bedroom. My other friend.
I mean, that makes it a little better, I guess.
By the way, what's great is probably the next day they were like, "What do you want to do today?" I don't know. Let's hang out.
They weren't even fighting when it happened. It's just like you're just sitting there hanging out.
My friends that had a full piss off on my mattress. They all just pissed all over my mattress. They also took...
we're fighting. We're fighting. If you're peeing on anything that is mine or me, we're fighting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's just...
Well, by the way, you could fight these guys, but you wouldn't
win?
You wouldn't want to fight these guys at all. That was part of it. That's part of it. You definitely wouldn't want to fight them. But although I would, like we would get, they tried to drag me. They're both huge football players, super strong, crazy strength. They were super strong specimen guys, not husky, like strong, like crazy, weird strong.
By the way, if you were called Husky when we were growing up, that was not a good name.
There was a section for you at Sears.
the Husky jeans were not the ones you wanted to be wearing.
No, and these guys were so well. Also, another set of guys, not even this group, had one of those patent fans in my bedroom. Turned it up on full, threw a full sack of flour and a full sack into a fan on full. Just
I'll take that over the piss.
just every day,
100%.
everywhere. But they when I was babysitting with one of them, I was of course we were babysitting. We're like, we got to get into the food, and we found a sack of marshmallows. And I was like, we're gonna roast marshmallows over the stove, and I got the fork out or whatever and started roasting the marshmallow, and then the marshmallow caught on fire, and it started burning. Marshmallows burn like napalm.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because we're telling every kid we're gonna roast marshmallows, but they're super weird and flammable when they get going. And the thing starts going up. It's like a tiki torch. I wasn't gonna eat it because it got caught on fire. It was burning. So I was like fucking around, and I go, it's Adam the Great fire eater. It's Adam the Great from the circus, and he just hit my elbow, and the flaming marshmallow just stuck to it was on fire. Stuck to my face while it was on fire.
I love that kind of stuff, man.
That is absurd.
Remember I told you that story? We used to fight differently too. And I remember one time my two older brothers were fighting, and I had a friend over. And my older brother was like, I think he slapped my other brother. My other brother ran out of the room and grabbed a butcher knife. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm going to fucking stab you. And my older brother grabbed my friend who was over and put him in front of him. He was like, go ahead, stab me. Go ahead, stab. My friend was like, whoa. He goes, I'm not a part of this. He goes, go ahead, stab Gary first. See what happens. Let's see. And Jonathan was like, I've always wanted to stab somebody. And they were seriously talking about we could probably just stab him in the arm just to see,
or the knee, like
to see what it was like. But these were serious discussions.
Gary never came back over, did he?
Gary's the same kid. My dad used to shit with the door open. He was a big poop with the door open, and not only did he like to shit with the door open, it was a power move. One day, Gary was over.
Surprised you didn't piss on him. Come on, he was fucking serving it up on a silver platter.
He called us into his room. He was like, boys, come in here. So I thought he was just in the bedroom. He wanted to ask us a question. We walked in the bedroom. He's not there. He's in here. And we turn the corner. He's on the toilet. And I'll always remember this. He just looks at us and he goes, what are you guys doing today? And I was like, oh my God. You couldn't have waited pre-push or post-push? Do you know what I mean? You had to get straight push at the top of that. Yeah, it was a different. Can you imagine if one of your friends are over and I had been shitting with the door open?
By the way, how'd you would have? And you would have been, boys, come over here. I'd have been like, no.
I would tell you something. The police would have showed up in today's.
Oh,
by the way,
not
only for that, but any of the things you just mentioned, both of you, straight to jail.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like, Not even close. There would be a board meeting for just the two of you.
You guys mess with each other, but more verbally, right? We were definitely physical. We did physical shit to each other.
All we did was wrestle.
Yeah.
We did verbal and like a lot more just like scary. Or like hot sauce and like or like something really hot. Like I went over to a friend's house once and he goes, "Oh, I made ramen." I was like, "All right, cool, I'll have a bowl." And he didn't tell me that he had ordered pretty much like a liquid Carolina Reaper. And it was like the Scoville level is like 8 million plus. And you're only supposed to put 1 drop in to make the whole thing pretty spicy. He put 12 in. And he goes, "Try the ramen." And I smell it and I go, "Oh, that smells like it's going to be spicy." And I take a bite probably half the size of my palm. And 3 seconds later, I am crying.
That's a good joke.
That's not bad.
And
Yeah,
I'm good with that because I know I'm going to be okay after it. But like, it sucked in the moment. Nothing helps that kind of heat like that.
Urine does.
Yeah, I could have cooled you off.
Yeah. I hear urine works really well for that kind of stuff.
I'll take a rain check on that.
Oh my God. I mean, I haven't even, first off, couple things. The physical battle. That's all we did.
Yes, I
all we
agree.
did was battle. Physically battle.
Yep.
We spent, all we did was wrestle.
But we
That's
were
all
animals,
we did was tussle. All we did.
Yeah.
And these guys were the guys I hung with were crazy, weird, strong specimen guys.
Yeah.
My one buddy, as I've told a million times, and I ended up smashing my head trying it, but he was 210 pounds, 6'2".
In high school?
Yeah, he could reach up and grab the casing of a door, just in any apartment, just that thin door casing, grab it with his fingers, pull his knees up to his chest, push his feet through his arms, turn himself over, and put his feet back
with
down.
His fingers?
Fingertips strength.
With
That's
his motherfucking
crazy.
fingers. He was 200 plus pounds. I tried it, got my fingers on, got my feet up to the top,
and fell straight
fucking
up.
fingers came off head first, right into the fucking kitchen floor.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
By the way, that sounds how
Also funny.
very
funny, but that was it. That was such a hard like head hit that even the guys that never stopped laughing gave a oh shit,
Yeah.
like he broke his neck.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask that. Was there ever a time, and that seems like one of them, where even your meathead friends were like, "Oh," where they thought, "Oh, this might be the dead part."
There was the time. Now, so what I'm talking about here is, like I said, I'm not talking about beefy dudes from high school.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 200 pounds plus in jacked.
Muscle.
right muscle.
Jacked. Like
Yeah.
if both of them, like they'd do a thing with their forearm where they'd make a fist and turn their fist in and just see fucking balls and veins start coming out of their fucking stridated, jacked dudes. I don't know how, those are my two best friends, Chris and Ray. And those guys were fucking animals. And I was super strong. I didn't look like them, but
Were you boxing then too? Or was that
no, I could wrestle anyone to the ground, except for these guys were super strong. But if you run into those guys today and you go, "What's the most impressive thing Adam's ever done?" They'll go, "The time we got him naked and right after school let out, and I lived across the street from the school, and everyone was just piling out, getting their cars and stuff on my street. And those two went ape shit to try to drag my naked ass out into the street to present me to all the classmates that were coming out. And I fought those two naked in my driveway in my dad's house. And they're like, those are the two baddest dudes on the planet. And I had the power of like a fucking naked.
Yeah.
And I lifted weights, I played football, and I had good leverage. You couldn't like out leverage me, even though these guys were crazy strong. And I just fought them in my driveway.
You were the original Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I was naked and afraid. They got me about halfway down my dad's driveway, but they need to move me like another 30 feet to get me out in the street, and I just fucking, like a gladiator.
That is amazing.
Fucking battled with these two.
access.
You
Some
heard about
strength.
stories about moms lifting cars when their kids are being trapped underneath.
That's what it was.
Something came out.
I fucking fought so fucking hard.
But now, if you had a huge dick, would you have been like, "Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would've-
hit him and like, you know what? This might get me a couple dates. I'll go ahead and drag me out there.
What time should I be out there?
It's a fine line because if I had a boner, everyone would have known I was gay because I was wrestling in my driveway.
But the fight might have ended sooner.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it might have been a good way to
Everything
end it.
was physical. All we ever did, I had a buddy who was another guy who was totally jacked. He was a black dude and he won like best physique in junior high and high school, like no waist and huge arms and stuff. His name was Tom, but he looked the part, but these guys kind of were the part.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he was like sort of weight room buff, but he wasn't like weird feral cat street, just gorilla buff, and these guys, he was sort of civil and his dad was a doctor and stuff. And he had a house up in the hills and it had a swimming pool and a long diving board that hung out over the pool like 6-8 feet or something. Yeah. And the entire summers, all we would do is get naked and we would fight on the diving board. So we would see who the king of the diving board was. You would stand all the way to the end with just your foot right off, heel just barely coming off the end. You would get naked and you would fucking get in the position. And then that dude would come at you and you guys would tussle. And if he hit the water first, you got to stay. And if you hit the water first, then he took over. And that's all we did. Just fucking wrestle.
Can I tell you something that I think is also our generation is when you were like, we would get naked. There was a lot of get naked.
Yes.
I was just going to ask.
At parties, there was a lot of get naked. When I was in college, there was a guy, and he always ran the kegs, and he wore a cowboy hat, boots, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Just balls ass naked. Guys, girls, everybody walked up. Nobody even batted an eye because this was the same guy. This dude was a straight up animal. He didn't like to get out of the shower to go to the bathroom, so he would shit in the shower and stuff the shit down the drain.
Yeah.
So with his feet, just stuff it. And one day we came back from break, and his whole suite was flooded with just shit water. And he was like, "Huh?" And we were like, "What do you mean, huh?" And he was like, "Well, I've been shitting down the shower drain."
Oh man.
He goes, "But I thought it was the same drain as the toilet." I'm like, "Why would you think that?" He was like, it's in the bathroom, right? I'm like,
that is not how that works.
This is the same guy. He was on a football team. His nickname was Tonda, like from wasn't that the guy's name from how come I can't remember the Mel Brooks?
Oh no. No. You're thinking of Mongo.
Mongo. So his name was Tonda.
Blazing Saddles.
And he used to like to run up and fart on people.
Yeah.
And so he was on the football team, and this dude left his locker open, and he ran up to fart in his locker and just all over this dude's clothes and shoulder pads, just shot a rain of hot diarrhea all over this guy's stuff. He thought it was the funniest. He was running. He was like, "Oh, everybody!" He would call everybody. I just shit on all over Steve's stuff. And for whatever reason, we thought it was the funniest thing. But I'm telling you,
straight to jail.
Getting naked, fighting, peeing, all that stuff. I think ours was the last generation that thought this is okay. We should do this.
Yeah, everything was physical. Everything was a fight.
How old are you?
I'm 37, and we've evolved.
Because you're older than him, but your generation wasn't doing that, right?
No, we weren't.
No.
So that was
Listen,
you missed out on some fun.
If I even start getting into what we did at the Mulholland Club after hours with a jacuzzi jet,
oh no,
it's unthinkable. It defies. It literally just defies the imagination.
Were you guys known for that, or was everybody doing it? Like, was it something where we know these guys?
It was only us.
Yeah.
And people didn't know. Some people thought we were gay.
Yeah. Because you were always naked wrestling?
Naked fighting.
Yeah.
And they knew the crazy stories. But we were the biggest, strongest guys. So nobody would come up and, I've definitely been there. I was in high school when my buddy took a piss on a rando. A civilian Like
Where?
Just in the high school, just in the bathroom. Just I came up. He was just like standing at the urinal, and some other kid was like standing next to him. And he just like gave him a shot. He just gave him a blast.
Fighting, straight hands at the urinal. I am gonna dunk you in your own piss. Like again,
you can't
we're fighting.
You don't want to fight these guys. That's the problem.
That was their.
That's why they knew.
Ace in the hole, right?
Yes, and the guy got pissed. He just got a blast on his leg, and the guy like looked at him, and he saw who this dude is, and he just went,
"Yeah,
dude."
That's all you can do.
What are you gonna do? You can't fight these guys.
No matter how big you are, kicking the dick always hurts.
Yeah, kicking the dick. I will tell you,
Kicking the dick always gives you a little bit of time to do what you need to do.
Was there anybody at your schools? Because you guys would have
Pissing on others?
No, we're just doing
okay.
like because we didn't get in trouble really for doing things to each other.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Like that wasn't something the school was really concerned with.
No, not at all.
Did you have a group?
Because you guys didn't complain about it, right? I mean, you guys were friends the next day. It was just something you knew.
They knew. They knew. The school knew there was something going down in that bathroom.
Yeah,
Surely.
I mean, it smelled like
the janitor was like, "There's always piss on the ceiling in this bathroom."
People are
Just
trying-
this one bathroom is just dripping piss.
I heard a lot of. I would hear talk from like faculty, like who's doing this to this bathroom, but we never said anything. There was I think they were called the Brown Bombers. There was a name.
It's a great name.
Hilarious.
But no, there was never really a group. But I will say, when I was on the JV football team, we didn't like the varsity team very much. And there was a specific person who none of us really did like. He thought he was hot shit, but he rode the bench harder than anybody.
Yeah.
So we put Icy Hot in his jockstrap.
That's
not bad.
That's a good one.
And he ran around the locker room screaming and crying. So that was great.
We had
That's a good one.
I enjoyed that.
We had a place in the back of the locker room. Sorry, everyone who's heard these stories before, but they just make me laugh. We had a big locker room. The back lockers, they had a certain lockers cordoned off, and it was called the cage. And the cage had that weird mesh security shit all the way to the ceiling with a door. Mm-hmm. And that's where the varsity did their pads or helmets, the more expensive equipment or something was in the cage. So that's where we changed, the varsity changed. And the cage, somebody busted off the fucking doorknob on the cage. And so the rule was you never slam the door shut to the cage, because once the door's shut to the cage, you got to go find Coach Nielsen and get like the vice grips or the needle nose pliers to get out of the cage.
Right.
But of course we knew that. And the cage had lockers. The ceiling is like 20 feet high. The lockers are like 7 feet high, and they're double lockers, and they're like flat on the top, and they're spread out like every 6 feet, and then there's a bench in between. And so what it worked out to be is if you climbed up to the top of the lockers, you could leap from one locker to the next locker to the next locker, which is kind of a jump. And then there was no ground you couldn't cover inside of the cage. So if we threw you in the cage and slammed the door, and my buddy got on top of the lockers, he could piss on your head from anywhere in the cage, and there was no escape. You couldn't climb up the locker. He's standing on the locker pissing on your head. And we did that quite frequently.
This is amazing.
As well. Nobody told faculty.
No.
Nobody reported anything. There was no parents ever. Nobody was involved.
No.
It was understood that if you want to fuck around and hang out in the cage, you could.
No rules.
There were no rules. Zero rules. But I will tell you, at some point, a little later in our careers, one of my animal friends cheated with the girlfriend of the other animal friend, and it came out at a party.
Oh. This was in high school?
This is like 2 years out of high school.
Oof.
And literally went full Kool-Aid, busting through doors. Yeah, when these two went at it with intent, it destroyed the whole house.
Shit got real?
Oh, yeah.
Did they end up being friends afterwards?
Yeah.
But they just had it out.
Yeah, in a house.
Punches to the
Godzilla
face?
versus
Yeah.
King Kong.
Let me tell you, when it wasn't real, it was real with these guys.
Right.
Like when they weren't trying to inflict harm, they were still inflicting a fair bit of harm. But when it got real, it got really real. Yeah.
You know, when my brothers and I had 3 older brothers. And so when we used to fight, that doesn't properly explain. As the youngest of 4 boys, I wasn't ever really fighting. I was more receiving punches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? But we had a pretty strict rule, no hitting in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't mean like one of my brothers he liked to fart in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. I remember I would fight him, but didn't matter. He was too strong, and I would always get the fart in the mouth. And I remember I said to my dad once, I said, he's farting in my mouth. And my dad was like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I punch him and I fight as much as I can, but he's so much stronger than me. I always end up getting a fart in the mouth anyways. And he goes, well, this is a good lesson. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, you can either get beat up and get a fart in the mouth, or just get in the fart in the mouth.
Oh, just bend over.
And I was like, you could just ask him to stop.
Yeah. As the
That's
parent.
why I came to you. I'm not looking for
Those are
life
my
advice.
options.
All this from the toilet, right?
You know what you should do? But I'll tell you something. The next time my brother was like, I'm going to fart in your mouth, I just opened my mouth. And he goes, well, I'm not going to do it if you like it, you weirdo. And he walked away. And I was like, oh, shit, my dad's advice
Actually worked.
turns out being the right one.
The bullies go off the reaction. No reaction, then
That's just like a prank. I'm not pulling a prank on somebody. If you don't react, it's not fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I need, right?
Yeah.
The whole, it's less the execution and more,
the reaction.
although there are some things that I don't need to see. For example, every time I leave a hotel room, I set the alarm clock for 4:25 in the morning.
Oh, you're the guy.
Yeah. He's the guy.
Right.
Because it gives me a little bit of a chuckle on my way out the door. Like, this is gonna be kind of funny for whoever's in here. Right. So there's some I don't need to see, but most of the time I want to see your reaction.
Oh, yeah, that one you just
I just know.
You sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Knowing that someone else isn't sleeping like a baby.
Yep.
And just, you don't want to do like 1 a.m. where they can go back to sleep. You want to give it like a 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 4. Yeah, the sweet spot is a 3:45 to 4:10.
Where there's no way they're going back to sleep and they hate you. Yeah, I like that.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll do some news, and we'll do that right after this. First, there's the Jordan Harbinger Show. The Jordan Harbinger Show, a different kind of sponsor for this episode, the Jordan Harbinger Show. Well, if you're a fan of fascinating podcasts and interesting people, you should definitely check this one out. There's an episode for everyone, no matter what you're into. Jordan talks with Scott Adams about persuasion in a world where facts don't matter anymore. Man, is he right? Or you go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You'll always find something useful to apply to your own life, like routine changes to boost productivity or slight mindset tweaks to change how you see the world. Jordan's a good guy. We've had him on many times. I know the man well, and he's worth a listen. We enjoy the show, and we know you will too. So you can search the Jordan Harbinger Show. That is HARB as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Morgan & Morgan. Let me lay a stat on you. People 15 to 24 have the highest rate of ER visits due to car accidents. And I got kids, and they're about that age, so it seems, well, they're right in that age group. It's kind of scary. So if you've ever been injured, check out Morgan & Morgan. Submitting a claim with Morgan & Morgan is easy. You can use it the same way you use like a rideshare app. It is that easy, and even easier than swiping right on a dating app, which, by the way, leads to more trouble, or this could lead to more money. America's largest injury law firm, 100-plus offices nationwide, over 800 lawyers, more than $15 billion recovered for clients. So if you're injured in an accident, check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win, so it's no risk. Morgan & Morgan, right, Dawson?
For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's FOR thepeople.com/Adam or #law, #529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement.
All right. Should we do a little news,
Yeah.
Mexipana?
So speaking of dads teaching lessons, there's this dad in Belgium who he was bummed out because his family stopped inviting him to things and they're not returning his texts, and he felt underappreciated. So what he did is he tells his kids, "Hey, I'm gonna fake my death, and we're gonna have a funeral when everyone comes. I'm gonna come out and just show them like
Come out of the coffin?
yeah, well, even better. So, well, it starts with this. He tells the kids, "Hey, post something on social media. Just tell them I'm dead. Just put it on social media right now." So his daughter posts, "Rest in peace, Daddy. I'll never stop thinking about you. Why is life so unfair? Why you? You're going to be a grandfather and still yet your whole life ahead of you. I love you. We love you. We will never forget you." They have the funeral. And then when everyone gets together for the funeral, he comes and shows up in a helicopter and gets out of the helicopter and goes, "Just kidding. We need to stay in contact better."
What if the helicopter had crashed and he had
That would
died?
have been-
Yeah.
But who's he not in contact with? Because his kids were in on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%.
Well, extended family, because his kids
okay.
and his wife were in on it. So there's actually a video.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
guy
awesome.
has a video of it, but he faked his own death.
Man. They're all hugging and
What a terrible thing to do to people.
it is pretty terrible.
So their family's bummed. They're sad. They're crying. They're consoling each other.
I wish Norm Macdonald would have done that.
Yeah, that would be
That was a
amazing.
good guess.
Yeah.
That would be totally okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're really upset. These two.
Of course.
Well, why didn't they dress more appropriately?
For a funeral.
They're wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, my man is wearing shorts and a Hawaiian button down.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, maybe they're not in contact with you because you're an asshole who fakes your own death and wants people to come to a funeral that doesn't.
100%. Like, that would probably, it feels like a self-projection. Like, it explains a lot as to why.
Did
Yeah,
you see the woman who was just they were at her wake and she was knocking from inside the coffin? Recently.
Oh, yeah, she woke up, that, like, 95-year-old woman. Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see that.
She woke up, I think she woke up for, like, 15 minutes and then died again.
No, dude. They got her out of the coffin. I just read about it. She was, how long was she not moving? Because to be declared dead to the wake has got to be a day or two, right?
At least.
Several.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you think? So that's the first thing I think of. Like, how long is she laying still? Was she, like, you're close to death if you can turn your body off for 3 days. That's how low the battery is.
Right.
But she knocked, can you imagine being at that wake or whatever and just hearing,
Yeah.
and you're like, where? And they opened it up and she was alive. By the way, that's number one fear for me.
Buried alive?
Somebody thinking I'm dead and in a coffin. Without a doubt, number one fear for me.
Yeah. It's everyone's top three.
It's got to be in there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's way up there. It's
Yeah.
like falling off the back of a cruise ship at night is up there too. Like they're all, buried alive. Yeah.
Also, you know what's in there for me? Buried alive. The cruise ship I hadn't thought of, but some sort of animal attack where they eat you slowly. It's
Yeah.
a real where you're like, is that my leg now? Is
you're
that,
alive for all of
Yeah,
it,
is that what
yeah.
we're doing? My leg? Okay.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's a real bummer.
or trying to take a piss in front of my friends.
yeah.
That's in high school. That was pretty bad too. All right, what? This was in Ecuador. The doctors are investigating or something, but the woman. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking
This is never a United States move,
No.
which is good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's all the scariest stories in the world. Like this
Right.
family was living with 2,000 snakes in their attic. It's always like in Thailand.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it's like we don't. Those aren't United States.
Yeah.
problems.
Right.
Yeah.
We have coroners here.
Dude, even if I cut my finger, if I'm in Mexico, I'm like, I'll fix it when I get back to the
That's
States.
right.
Yeah, I'm not going, I don't need to see any doctor.
All right. Well, there's a woman in Utah. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard the story. We talked about it a little bit on the show. She was accused of killing her husband by poisoning him.
Yes.
And then wrote a book about grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so more has come out in the court filings. More her phone's internet search history.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so when they went through her phone, these are some of the Google searches she had.
Pool shits, horse jack off, son's cock. What else is in there? Come on. She's a maniac. She's a homicidal maniac. And I bet her searches are better than yours.
By the way, I would agree with that.
So there she is. So just remind, she was arrested last month.
She's married to Bill Burr.
That's what she looks
very
like.
Bill Burry. This is just southeast of Salt Lake City. And she made major changes to the family's estate plans before her husband died, taking out life insurance policies totaling around $2 million. And there's reports of her asking a friend, like, hey, I need something strong, quote, some of the Michael Jackson stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
These are some of her searches in Google.
The internet search, the Googles, I've seen a list of them. They're if you had been on a TV show and been like, hey, we got to write this, and she killed her husband, let's write some of these.
Two on the nose.
Some of them would have been like, no, dude, you can't.
Yeah.
This is
On
two
the nose.
two on those.
Yeah.
She
Right.
was so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them is, if someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as?
Right.
Next one, what is a lethal dose of fentanyl?
Yeah.
Next, can cops force you to do a lie detector test?
She'll still get married in prison.
For sure.
100%.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's
she's
good-looking.
young.
Yeah.
Some dude will marry her in prison.
Are you telling me some dude isn't getting turned on right now thinking about fucking a murderer?
Yeah.
There's some guy out there who's like,
It's this
is
dude
it.
right here.
Yeah.
Don't leave the studio to find that dude. You're sitting between two of them.
Yeah. It's, yeah. But the searches varied between things like that and family getaways in Utah. It was
Right.
Or like maximum security prisons in Utah, like where the rich people would go.
Oh, luxury prisons for the rich in America. That's just something she was
It's
Googling.
crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She was assuming, well, I'm going to get rich after I cash this life insurance policy, and I'll be in the top 1%. So where will I be going to prison?
Yeah.
Joke's on you. Not there.
Yeah, how to delete information from an iPhone remotely. Like,
and one was how to delete permanently.
Or how to delete, how to edit iCloud. Like there were so many different ones.
But then there was like one that said, wasn't there one that said fun
Easter quotes or something like that.
Easter quotes.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there a way I mean, is there a way to kill anybody anymore without all the Ring doorbells and paper trails and
also
phone
all of
towers, triangulations
Yeah,
and stuff?
but also you got to account for all the white women in America who love true crime and take it upon themselves to go solve cases that haven't been solved.
Entire
It's like
unpaid army of
like
shrews.
keyboard warriors.
Bored fat shrews that are on your fucking tail, and they're unlimited energy.
Yeah, they're ready.
Yeah, not for the treadmill or the
No,
gym, but for tracking your ass down.
I've always thought being a criminal in like the 1930s, if you got caught, all
You're
you
a
had
bad
to do was
criminal.
just go to the next state.
Yeah, you're a bad
Yeah.
criminal.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if you got caught that early when there was nothing that could like physically photograph you or put you in that spot, you're a bad criminal.
you could outrun any cop in your car at night by simply shutting off your headlights.
Yes.
They're just like, shut the headlights. Now I'm lost forever. I'll be in Mexico in 2 days.
It's such a different. Do you know? We sold this script to Sandler's company a couple years ago about a. Did you ever hear about the Little League coach in Canoga Park in the early '60s? They were called the Mutt and Jeff Robbers. And this guy, he coached an all-star Little League team, by the way, that had both the Yount brothers on it. Robin and Larry, Rick Dempsey. Rick had told me that I think 6 of the kids off the Little League team went on to play Major League Baseball, which is a crazy number, right?
That's ridiculous.
But this guy, he was robbing banks, but he would just rob a bank in whatever town the all-star team went to. But because it's the 60s, he would just rob the bank, take off the mask, and just go to the baseball field. And there was no way for anyone to. The lead detectives for the case, his son was the shortstop.
Wow.
On the team?
On the team. It's an amazing
Whoa.
story. It's an absolutely amazing story. But like this dude could rob a bank and then just go coach a baseball team because there was no way to
like track these
Track,
guys.
there was
And
You know
also,
what I
my
mean?
first thought is not to go to the park to
100%,
go
100%,
inspect a little league coach.
It's a great. I'm surprised living out here you had never heard that. It's a really cool.
No,
and I
Canoga
think they
Park.
were called the Mutt and Jeff robbers because his partner was bandits, Mutt and Jeff bandits. Because he was a bigger guy and his partner was a shorter dude.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
crazy.
a fucking great story. I think Wahlberg is doing a documentary about it right now.
Sounds like a good
Really cool story,
topic
man.
for a doc.
And the fact that all those guys to have a team, to have one kid on a little league team play any form of Major League Baseball,
Might be the best little league team.
but
ever.
both the Younts and Dempsey, and there was a couple other names that you kind of might have heard of. But it was a really cool story. But to be able to do that with confidence and know like nobody's texting anybody, there's no alert, there's no Amber Alert, there's no alert going on people's phones. You just drive to the field, take off your mask,
Yeah.
and now you're coaching a team.
You don't need a mask. You just need stocking.
Yeah,
Put women's pantyhose on your head.
yeah, that was it.
It's crazy. I know. But now it's weird because we're living in a time where it's impossible to pull off. First off, any kind of white collar crime, it's oh, the guy from Ukraine has tapes of Joe Biden calling him up and talking about his son and stuff. Like there's a paper trail
Everywhere.
There's a phone text thing. There's a recording. There's a Ring doorbell recording. You can't poison anyone. Can't do it. But you could go to parts of Chicago and just shoot a 14-year-old and just walk away and they'd never catch you.
Yeah,
That's the other part too. It's like it's never been harder and easier to kill somebody.
Yeah, that is true. It is super easy to kill somebody.
And like the conviction rate on like inner city murders or drive-bys or people just shooting up parties and stuff is like under 40% or
But
something. Like, so
meanwhile-
you can kill people.
This woman, one of the reasons she got caught is because the people who sold her the fentanyl came out. Drug dealers have now
What
they
the-
have some sort of moral compass all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't mind selling the fentanyl, but it's too far when you're doing it to kill your
Right.
husband.
Yeah,
Right.
felt kind of bad.
But if you come forward as somebody who sold fentanyl, you must be like, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. But you got to promise not to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
There's got to be a deal initially because if you're a drug dealer, you're not going to give up the fact that you're a drug dealer unless it's for a good cause.
By the way,
Fentanyl.
worst drug dealer, fentanyl? Yeah,
Yeah.
worst drug dealer of all time, by the way. This guy who rats himself out.
I think
Yeah.
anybody who's dealing
I-
with fentanyl is the worst drug dealer ever.
I don't know why everything today reminded me of an old story, but when I was living in this one-bedroom apartment with three dudes, or me and two other dudes,
Out here.
yeah, in North Hollywood, and we wanted to get rid of the one dude, but we didn't want to tell him he's got to hit it because we're friends,
Yeah.
but we're just tired of living with him. And we started making a little more money, like it went from $8 to $9 an hour or something. Like I think we could swing two of us in a one-bedroom.
Right. That's big money.
We're like, how do we get rid of this guy? Because he's our friend. I said, I'll do it. I called the landlord, Jim Posel, and I went, hey, there's three of us living in this one bedroom, and I know it's against the lease. And he goes, yeah, it's against the lease. And I go, yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
And he goes, you can't, there's three of you? And I go, yes, there's three of us.
Yeah.
I want you to write us a letter telling us you got to get rid of one of us. And he goes, I'm going to write you a letter. I'm like, yes,
Yeah, it's a
I'm
great
calling
idea.
you, Jim. Kind of
Great idea, Jim.
yeah, it was, but it was kind of like the drug dealer coming in, like, I deal fentanyl. You're dealing fentanyl. Hold on. Let me
I just
tell
said
you.
that. I just said that. Yeah.
Well, that's illegal, son.
Yeah.
Yep, right? Good?
I'm way
Got
ahead of
it?
you. Yep. We had a roommate in Seattle. I lived in Seattle for a couple years in the early 90s. And I actually lived on Leshai Park. I was sharing a house with these two dudes down the street from where Cobain lived. When he shot himself, because I had a New York driver's license at the time, they wouldn't let me on the street to go to my house. It was a crazy time. But we had a roommate that we just always left dirty dishes in the sink. He just never cleaned. Just a gross dude. and didn't ate all our food.
Yeah.
You know, one of those guys that just wasn't. He
A
thought
moocher.
Yeah, he just thought he could just skate by and have us do everything. So I had a Saint Bernard at the time, and my Saint Bernard took huge shits.
I like where this is heading.
Yeah.
So I would have him shit in the guy's room. Like if you put a towel down inside, like because there were times where I remember one time where I had hurt myself and I couldn't walk him. I had hurt my ankle. So I had to teach him sometimes to shit in the house, and I would. So if you put a towel down, he would shit on it. If you
Couldn't he shit on command too? Like if you said, Bud, go to the bathroom. Go to the
No,
bathroom.
but he would. If you put something on top of the refrigerator that he wanted, he would rock it.
Shotzi would rock this.
He would rock the shots. Yeah.
Would rock
but
the
I
fridge.
had him shit in this guy's room for like a week straight. and the guy finally was like, "I'm moving out." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry about that." He's like, "If you can't get your dog to stop shitting in my room, I'm gonna move out." I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll see."
I wish I had a St. Bernard. I wouldn't have had to call Jim Posel up to write a letter.
Whoa, dude, this St. Bernard shit is.
Oh, yeah.
It's no joke.
No.
And it's not a one time a day. So his room was not a pleasant place to be.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, you know what though?
But what would he say? Like, I closed my door. How'd your dog get in
This is the
here?
thing. He goes, "Why does he keep shitting in my room?" That's what he kept saying. I go, "Well, it's dirty, dude." So he just feels like that's the place where he can go in and shit.
But doesn't he say I shut the door and it latched?
Well, he was like, "Well, I'm shutting because he started shutting the door." I will tell you this, like, because even my dog now, the handle, not the twist, but
Not
the
the
handle,
knob, yeah.
my dog can open.
Oh, okay. So you
And I was like, he just
Shotzi
opens it.
can open.
I was like, he just opens it right up.
well, he's
And-
about the same height as it anyway.
Oh,
so
dude, he was bigger than that. He's definitely bigger.
Yeah.
But we chased him out with a little Saint Bernard.
That's good. That's smart.
I got to tell you something. There were some days where I was like, if the dog's not shitting in the room, I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it might have
sure.
looked a little
You can't-
different, little consistency. Yeah, but we wanted him out.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you do look.
you got to do what you got to do.
He and I are still in touch with each other, and I've told him since then that we wanted to chase him out with the dog.
Do I know who it is?
No, you don't know who he is.
Boo.
Yeah, my guy, I don't know if we ever told him about the letter.
No.
No, I mean, I remember when the letter showed up. The letter showed up like 3 days later.
Who opened it first? Did you?
I think
Get those
It
acting
was a-
skills.
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah,
early
yeah.
acting
absolutely.
chops. I was like, oh, man. Oh, boy. Damn it. Damn it to hell.
We got issues.
There's an issue. And then we had to have like a little meeting, like, oh,
How'd you
man.
decide it was his turn to go?
Unanimous decision.
Well, he had some semblance of a family that he could go somewhere. I didn't have anywhere to go, and the other guy didn't really have much of a place to go. But we were there originally together. He came on sort of like, well, you were the last one here, so now you got to be the first one to
one
go.
out.
Yeah.
What age were you out of the house?
I think about 19.
Me too.
Yeah, when he dropped out of college, I remember he came home, and he was at the house for a month. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, dude, you can't live here."
Yeah, I'll get the St. Bernard.
Yeah, and he was, but I was like, "You can't live here," and he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, if you were in college and you were coming back, of course you get to live here, but you're now going to be a grown man in the workforce, and grown men in the workforce don't live at my house.
Right.
They have their own places." And he was not psyched about it, but tell them the video that you sent me
Until the first day. So we had moved the stuff in, and I had spent the night. And I woke up the next morning for the first time in my own place and not hearing parents or anybody else, and it was just me. And so I got up and I grabbed a beer out of the fridge. I grabbed my bong and I went into the kitchen and I poured my beer into my cereal and I took a video of me taking a bong rip and eating the cereal, and I screamed, "I love living with myself," and I sent it straight to him.
Wow.
And you know what I ate specifically to piss him off? I was eating Captain Crunch Berries, and he hates Crunch Berries.
Fucking Crunch Berries are the worst.
He hates
Wow.
it.
Why?
He hates it.
But do you remember where you at the end of the video you just screamed, "My place, bitch!" And I was like, "Yeah, this is why you should have your own place."
Yeah.
But Crunch Berries are terrible, dude. Why would you take Captain Crunch?
Was the whole cereal Crunch Berries?
Yeah,
Well, so
they
it's,
just
yeah,
make
it's,
Crunch
the,
Berry
it's the
cereal.
Captain Crunch with. They do make an only Crunch Berries.
Oh,
box.
they do.
And I saw it, and I was like, I'm going to get you that for Christmas.
So terrible.
Next year for Christmas, he's going to have a lifetime supply of just Crunch Berries.
And that's a real fuck you to a Jew. Getting me a Christmas present that I don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a double fucking barrel. Fuck you to a Jew.
It really is.
All right, we got Straight No Chaser. Are they coming in?
Still waiting.
Right, but this is their time? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll pop up when they pop up.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's take
keep
it.
going.
All right, so there's this viral video that happened last week of these several British guardsmen during a military parade. So they're playing their horns and they're marching, but it's getting kind of hot. Actually, temperatures were expected to hit up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit that day, and these guys, some of them just start dropping, but the band plays on.
I saw it.
Yeah,
It's amazing video.
It's amazing video. I mean, the guy's just dropping with the trombone still in their
I was just going to say,
mouth.
he's still got the full grip on the trombone. He's just fully passed out on the floor.
He does.
Like he's for when he wakes up, he's gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm still ready. Okay, great."
Yeah.
And he's gonna jump right
if
back
that
into it.
trombone
Discipline.
was still moving on the ground right now.
Like if he just decided he was tired and wanted to lay down, but was
he
still.
like, "Wah, wah."
they keep running in.
Oh, here he goes.
yeah.
He woke
So
up.
he's getting up.
By the way,
It's a hot.
how
day.
Yeah,
far
look at the
away?
one in the background.
Look, they
Already
keep-
being-
Yeah.
There's another guy getting carried off in a stretcher.
How far away were the medics?
They were in the next town. and then also, it's too hot for you to stand still and play an oboe, but it's not hot for medics in full military regalia to drag your fat ass back to the
also,
tent.
86 degrees is where you fainting? What a pussy.
Listen,
Like, come
they need
on,
some
man,
dudes.
like-
They need some dudes like who play for University of Miami doing two-a-days. you know what I mean?
Or
She's
U of
full
A,
pad,
something. But like 86 degrees is where you're passing
Yeah.
out? Come
Maybe
on,
if you didn't
man.
have a 70s porn bush on your head, that you'd be able to stay. That is a crazy
They
hat.
look like walking butt plugs with the thing on their head. Like, what the fuck
They're
is
not.
happening?
They're just not bred for the heat.
No.
because
Well,
Americans.
it rains all the time in
Yeah,
the
you
UK.
get, like,
I get that, but like
300-pound
86 degrees?
LSU interior lineman in full pads doing like two-a-days.
That's right.
No,
What about
no
my man
problem.
up front? What about my man up front who hasn't moved a goddamn muscle?
Yeah,
I do like,
Dressed in
but that
carpet
the
roll.
dude. I do like the dude up front. One of the things I used to love about that Far Side cartoon is they all had huge bodies and small heads.
He's got one of those.
Yo, he's got a
yeah.
Far Side body.
He does
for
have a
sure.
really small head.
tiny head, big
Whoa.
body.
We're not talking about 105. We're talking about 80.
86.
That's what I'm
86.
saying.
That's
It's
what
like
I'm
at
saying.
86 degrees, you're passing out. Like you, Jesus.
You want these guys guarding your country?
No,
Exactly.
If I was like Germany, I'd be like, just wait till it gets to 85 and we'll fucking
Like
just all be passed out.
These are the guys
won't fire
guarding the
a shot.
queen. No wonder she died. I mean,
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yo,
Like,
soon.
come on.
yeah, we make sure we attack in summer. That's the whole thing. You gotta-
Yeah, they'll do what the Russians did to the Germans during World War II when they
Yes.
waited for the winter to roll in.
Genius, by the way.
Stalingrad. Yeah.
Super
you'll
smart.
As soon as it gets above 85 degrees, we march.
That's right. We attack them.
I can't believe that's where we're fainting at.
Sun's
86
out,
degrees.
guns out.
That's right. All right, everyone got your cargo shorts? Has everyone got your military Crocs and cargo shorts on? Hanes T. We're going to take these guys over.
By the way, I wonder if these guys get fired after something like that happens.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the repercussions are? Because they're not allowed to move or talk to anybody when they're out on guard, right? So, like, what happens if you faint while doing this? Like, what are the repercussions? I got to know.
I think they're just practicing.
Yeah,
too.
this is a
Oh,
rehearsal.
you're fainting at practice?
This is a
That's even
rehearsal.
worse.
I
So-
mean,
We're talking
you're-
about practice?
You're beating just because they're dehydrated. You're beating an army of people.
Yes.
They don't have their electrolytes. And
This does not say robust culture to me.
No. Is there a video of how he fell? Was it a slow
is there a video
fall?
of him falling? I definitely want to see that too.
There are
there are other
multiple
videos
guys biting the dust in the band.
And by the way, the band
hot.
just playing on. There's no commotion.
Yeah, you
nothing
have
going.
to. When we went to see my brother graduate from basic training, they had a whole formation and a march and something like that, and it was in Georgia in August,
Fort Benning.
so it was hot as shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And there were people dropping like flies.
Yeah.
But if you dropped and you were in the middle or the front row, protocol was that the person directly behind you would grab you, drag you to the back, and everybody would just take a step
in.
forward, and you'd
Yeah.
fill in the gap. And then you'd bring the dude who passed out to the back. They would get treatment while everything was still moving, and then eventually they'd be back up in formation
That
in the
was
back.
one of the hottest days of my life.
Yo, it was.
That
it
was-
was hot.
yeah.
It was really hot. But yeah, it's so. What? You just gonna let this guy lay on the ground? Like what is happening?
Hey, I'm so curious if it was like a slow kind of
No,
or if he just went.
if he made
Like
a
that.
noise when he went down
Oh,
with
if
the
the trombone was like,
yeah,
yeah.
He looks like he hit the ground hard though. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
lie.
know. He looks kind of comfortable.
Does he though?
I
mean, he's basically got a
relaxed.
pillow on
I
his fucking
sleep on
head.
my side, so to me,
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty
great.
comfortable.
He's basically got a pillow on his head, anyways. I mean,
I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
more impressed with. How comfortable he looks. The fact that he's still in trombone playing
Yeah.
position.
Lips still on the horn.
Don't. But why do we have to practice and rehearse in
In
full
full-
dress?
right.
Full dress. Like, what do we need?
100%.
Maybe for this exact reason, to see who can
Yeah, to weed out the
stand
weak. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
85 degree temperature.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
see, you
it.
can. This is not the weakest chain, the weakest link in the chain.
This is pretty crazy.
That
I
is-
still think it's really funny how far away and how slow those medics are. This is
I mean, I guess they're trying not to pass out too because it's too hot. Apparently.
yeah, but you're watching. Like I feel like I watched them run for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. You know how long they ran for? He woke up and stood up before they even got to
Right.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and because someone else is already being carried off. Still, by the way, he still had the trombone. That dude on the stretcher still full trombone on his chest.
If they
He's about to pass out again trying to play, and they're like, "Come on, kids,
Yeah.
don't.
You're done.
You're done.
It's
if
amazing.
they were
You're done."
dressed like the guy who came back to life in the helicopter's funeral, they'd be fine. 'Cause
Exactly.
All those guys
Yeah.
are just wearing t-shirts
That's
and
They were
shorts.
on to
That's
something,
exactly
yeah.
right.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so Straight No Chasers they're having a tech issue, I think. So they're gonna be hitting it here soon. That's what they say. So we'll do a little more news, and when they hop on, we'll hop on.
All right, sure. So, look, Adam, I know you talk a lot about the trans sports, and it's obviously a big topic right now. Trans players or people who identify as a
Sure.
different gender playing
Yeah.
sports. But back in 2011, there's some stuff like this kind of already happening. So there's a player named Nilla Fisher who played for Sweden.
Played what?
Soccer, excuse me. This is the Women's World Cup in 2011, and she just released a book, and she said that in 2011 there were gender tests that were carried out in Germany after protests from Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana were accusing Equatorial Guinea squad of including men. Right, so they're like, okay, we got to look at. So basically, they had to send a doctor over to all these women's hotel rooms and look to see if they had a vagina. So they were told.
Do you need a doctor for that?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they,
I
Just be a
it's actually-
person?
It's
I
actually
mean,
a
I
few
know what a
people.
vagina looks like.
Your old
I-
roommate
It needs to be a
could've done
medical
that.
professional.
Do you know what I
That
mean?
lazy sack.
Yeah.
He could have done
That was his job. You're the vagina checker. Just give it a look. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a vagina. Got it.
Check. Well, actually, so these women, the team was told, one, you got to shave down there in the coming because there's going to be a test in the coming days. So all the women, the whole team was
Wow.
told to shave. Two.
What does shaving have to do with it?
Yeah.
Look at
you're
a
still-
view.
You can't
still
still
a
see the
vagina.
vagina through the bush.
You got
Like,
to make sure. You got to make sure.
okay.
So then so a female physiotherapist would knock on their door, and another doctor would be there too with his back to the women, so he wouldn't look. And so the female physiotherapist would have to go, "Yep, that's a vagina. and then the doctor would nod, mark it off.
But again, why does he be a doctor?
And also,
I
why
know.
does he have to even be in the room for that shit?
I have no idea. This was the look. It's unclear why Sweden's players were given a physical exam because they actually have like a swab test that they could do, and supposedly it's very affordable, where you just put it in your cheek and you can see if they have the proper chromosomes or lack of.
Do you know when I was in high school? You probably didn't do a lot of field hockey out here, right?
No, we didn't do any.
No.
So field hockey was might be more of a northeastern sport, but it was usually up until when I was a junior in high school, only girls played field hockey. And then there was a guy in the town over who was like, "Yeah, I want to play field hockey," and it was I remember it being such a huge brouhaha because they were like, "Well, you can't play," and he was like, "Why not? I just want to play field hockey. There's no boys field hockey team."
This is tantamount to the time I tried to get a job at Hot Dog on a Stick.
How'd it go?
They only hired chicks.
Yeah.
And the Hot Dog on a Stick in the Sherman Oaks Galleria was paying like $11 an hour, and McDonald's was paying like $4 an hour or something. I was like, I want a job at Hot Dog on a Stick. And they're like, we're going to just hire chicks at Hot Dog on a Stick. And they laughed me out of the joint. Oh, Straight No Chasers. Good. They're ready to go. All right, I'll tell you what, we can do one break.
Yes,
come back with the Straight No Chaser.
There they are.
And they'll give us always a delight. You be prepared to be wowed by Straight No Chaser. We'll do that right after this. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for your maintenance and repairs. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of the car. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. If your check engine light is on, O'Reilly Auto Parts will scan it and retrieve your trouble codes for free. If needed, they'll even refer you to a repair shop. When you're a do-it-yourselfer and need a specialty tool to finish the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask about their loaner tool program. Simply pay a refundable deposit and borrow the right tool. Then get your deposit back when it's returned. Ready for some new wiper blades? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help you pick out just what you need for your car and will even install them for you for free. O'Reilly Auto Parts has thousands of quality parts and accessories in stock that you might need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Place your order online at O'Reilly Auto Parts and then pick it up at your local store. You can even have your order shipped directly to your doorstep, giving you the freedom of shopping on your schedule. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. Let me tell you about Turo. Innovative. It's the world's largest car-sharing marketplace with Turo. You can book any car you want, wherever you want, from a community of local hosts. Browse a huge selection of vehicles for just about any occasion or budget. Book an SUV or a minivan for a family road trip, a pickup truck for some errands, or even test drive an EV. Every trip is backed by liability insurance. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Find your drive. Forget your boring rental cars at Turo, Turo.com. I'll give a plug. Yacht On The Rocks is the name of the new release, and that'll be out June 23rd, wherever you find music. And the group's branching out into some yacht rock, but these guys we've had on the show many times, and they have live dates coming up. They have a Yacht Rock tour coming up.
I see their holiday show every year. It's incredible.
Where?
It's at last time I think it was like at the Nokia Theater, or there's a theater in Thousand Oaks that I've been to. But yeah, it's a cappella, just so skilled. My favorite show. Like they're incredible. They're funny. They're creative.
It's like it's entertaining and impressive at the same time.
Unbelievable.
You guys hearing us now? Or are we still?
I think they can hear us, but we still can't hear them.
Yeah, we
got you.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Segi is one of the leads. Tyler's well. So what are you guys planning for us today?
We got a little
hot dog on a stick.
We got the hot dog on a stick jingle. Bringing that back. No, we got a little Kenny Loggins tune that we think you guys are going to like. But yeah, we're excited to get out on the road this summer. touring some Yacht Rock music.
Yeah, I'll give the dates. By the way, you just go to sncmusic.com if you want to see when they're coming to a town near you, because they're coming all over the country. Yeah, what do you got in the Kenny Loggins department?
A little heart to heart.
Oh, all right.
I know the only way to start is heart to heart. Come on, you ain't crazy, I ain't gonna lie anymore. 'Cause what you're feeling, there's a reason for. I wanna do right. Oh, I gotta do right. But do I love you? Oh, you know I've tried. 'Cause what you're after, you can't find in my eyes. I gotta do right. Come on, darling, tell the truth. Don't turn away. This is all I have to touch each other's hearts. Does anything last forever? I don't know. Maybe we're near the end. So darling, tell me, oh, how can we go on together? Now that we've grown apart, I know, but the only way to start is hard. One by one, we're collecting lies. When you can't give love, you give alibis. I've gotta do right. Oh, this time got to do right. I don't wanna leave, no, I don't wanna say goodbye. Sooner or later, honey, there comes a time I've gotta do right. Oh, darling, tell the truth, don't turn away. This is our last chance to touch each other's hearts. Does anything last forever? I don't know. Maybe we're near the end. So darling, tell me, oh, how can we go on together? Now that we've grown apart, I know, but the only way to start is a heart to heart. Why are you so torn apart? I need a little more loving in my heart. People say that love will grow. Well, how was I to know a love that's come through years and years can't find its way back home anymore? Darling, tell the truth, don't turn away. This is our final chance to touch each other's hearts. Does anything last forever? Oh, I just don't know. Maybe we're near the end. So darling, tell me, oh, how can we go on together? Now that we've grown apart, I know, but the only way to start is heart to heart. Does anything last forever? Oh, I just don't know. Maybe we're near the end. So darling, tell me, oh, how can we go on together? Now that we've grown apart, I know, but the only way to start is hard to heart.
Yes.
Yes. That was incredible. As per usual, we're having a little technical issue, and I don't know how we can fix this. We can hear it, but not the way it should have been. It should have been heard. But I have. I know what you guys sound like, so I have that advantage. I don't know what do you want to do, Chris? Is there a way to fix it? technical part.
Yeah, let's have you. We'll have you guys just send us your end of this, and we'll slug it in, because I want people to hear this the right way anyway. And we could obviously tell you're very skilled and just incredible musicians. So we want to make sure that this gets on Yacht Rock. I mean, why is Yacht Rock having a thing?
I don't know.
Good music.
Can we hear you?
Yeah, you can hear me. I
Hey.
think Yacht Rock's having a resurgence because the ladies like seeing us in these shirts. So I think that's probably the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
dude. It's like two Timberlakes and the Fatones.
Yeah.
That's going to be the name of our next show.
Well, you know what we need to do? Like, I mean, as a society, a lot of the Yacht Rock songs were sort of corny songs from the 80s that we're not too proud of, but we didn't have a category for them.
Yeah.
And now we have a category for them. And once we have a name and a title, Yacht Rock, then we go, oh yeah, I'm into Yacht Rock. Because before Yacht Rock, if you just said, I'm into these songs, people would go, oh, you have horrible taste in music.
Yeah.
But now you're into Yacht Rock, and that's cool.
so true. Like, as soon as that station became a thing, those songs became cool, but
Yeah.
they were not. This was not a cool.
Even a woman could announce, I'm a Karen, whereas before you were just a white, fat bitch.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
now
yeah,
you can say, I'm a Karen who's into Yacht Rock. Yeah. And people go, oh, we should hang out.
we like you. Yeah.
Let's get together. No, it's not a belly. It's called a gunt on a woman. Come on. That Karen has a
You
gunt.
go Gunt or Fupa?
Oh, I always like anything that's close. I always go gunt.
Wait, have you had a chance to tour like Australia and New Zealand?
No.
You know,
Straight No Chaser's probably done Australia, New Zealand, right?
We did a
We've done
tour
Australia.
recently, and I was just like, I can't believe I can say cunt. And
Yeah,
they were
sure.
all like, yeah!
They celebrated.
Yeah, they were.
I heard you can't say like fanny. That's
All
their
right.
C word.
Yeah, they got their own words. My new plan with words is women hate the word moist, and I will stop using the word moist if you stop using the word annoyed. You're annoyed. This thing's annoying. Everything's annoying. You're being annoyed. I don't want to hear about you being annoyed.
So
So
you know what
never.
my word? Do you know what my word? My is appropriate. Stop it with what's appropriate. The word that's not appropriate. That's
yeah,
not appropriate.
I can't hang with that
I can't
person.
do that one.
Where are you guys, and where's a cappella in general? Like, where are the biggest countries? Who appreciates what you guys do the most, whether it's a region in the United States or one of the many countries you've traveled to?
The moms seem to like us a lot.
I can tell by your
No, we-
jeans.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thanks, Tony Hawk and his friends. No, we get a lot of love in the Midwest. Indiana's kind of our roots, so we get a lot of love there. You know, Ohio, kind of that region. But we go all over the place, so it's just it's cool. It's really fun. We have a lot of fun. We're really excited for this Yacht Rock thing. So yeah, we're pumped.
Speaking of Yacht Rocks, you guys must. Do you ever get booked for cruises and that kind of stuff?
We've done them in the past. We're usually just too busy to get out on cruise ships. We did a Straight No Chaser cruise back in 2012. That was a good time. But yeah, we're just too busy. We do about 100 dates a year all over the U.S. and Europe as well. It's been a minute since we got back to Australia, but we're looking back to get back soon. But Adam, I think that whole rant you just went on about Yacht Rock and its roots, I think we need to have you MC our show.
Yeah, I'd love to open for Straight No Chaser. I do an a cappella comedy. I go out there, no guitar, sometimes a banjo, and I just fucking lay it out. I just use my mouth, like you guys, to pleasure. I use my mouth to pleasure the crowd.
Well, you are the best
Ready
at,
at once.
at it.
Well, thanks, you guys. Our connection's a little spotty, so I'll cut it a little bit short, but we will play the kick-ass version of the song we just heard when you guys send it to us. And let me give you guys a plug. Yacht on the Rocks, name of the album. It's coming out June 23rd. That'll be Friday, everywhere you find music. And dates all over the place. and you should go and you should see this band live. sncmusic.com. And there's no original song, so everyone's going to enjoy themselves, right?
We spare the audience.
But wear a diaper because you can't go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? There is no, here's one from the new album. All right, I'm taking a piss. Who needs a beer? It's all the
You
good
don't want to
stuff.
miss any of
You
it.
That's
can't
like when
miss
Bob
any of it.
Dylan's like, "This is the new song." You're like, "See you
"All right,
later."
I'm taking a piss. I'll be in the parking lot. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Love you.
Always,
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Adam.
you.
always a pleasure. Straight no chaser. Yeah, it's just songs that you love done in a way that you haven't heard them before.
We've done
Just-
like movie themes.
just incredible.
Can I be honest? They looked like just like a group of middle school teachers who just found that they had a common interest and formed a Yacht Rock group. Like every single one of them, I was like, I had you as a teacher, I had you as a teacher, you're a science teacher, and you're a PE teacher. Like I had every single one of them as a
faculty
teacher.
meeting.
The dude on the far left in the back, I was like, "Is that Rick Barry?"
Rick Barry, the basketball player?
I was like, "This dude looks
Yeah.
like Rick Barry."
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
But the bits we did here, they sounded real good.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the trappings of rock and roll.
No.
So it's just the music, which
Yeah.
which
They don't have the rock and roll temptations.
I happen to enjoy.
They definitely don't have the rock and roll hair. I'll tell you that.
No.
All right, let me give some plugs out. You guys, Josh and Jacob Wolf, of course. Hey, man, a family pod with Josh and Jacob Wolf, and you can find that wherever you find finer podcasts. And, of course, Family Tussle, the YouTube show that everyone loves so much, is out there. Find that, too. Live dates. Josh is coming up, going to be in Vegas at Kimmel's Club.
Every Monday night.
Every Monday night. There you go, which includes tonight as you hear this in Columbus, Ohio, and back to Jimmy's Club again. And you just go to comedianjoshwolf.com. I'm going to be in Monterey at the Golden State Theater. That's coming up Friday and doing stand-up there. So come on out and say hi on that one, too. And, of course, Straight No Chaser. Thanks, guys. Been fun. And until next time, Adam Crawford, Josh Wolf, and Jacob Wolf, and Chris Max Pattis saying mahalo.